Second Dig.
Hi, this is Pete with the Second Dig. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll find it interesting. I was given permission to do some metal detecting on a property near here, eastern Pennsylvania, where I live, and it turned out to be a pretty interesting location. And it's I guess it's maybe about 80 or 90 acres, but there were some structures on that property. And I'm going to take you through what I found there. So I'm going to share my screen here and get started. So when I was given permission, and whenever I'm given permission to metal detect on a property, I always start out with Google Maps to take a look at it. And this is an aerial view of that property, and you can see there are two cornfields, and there's actually more. This is just the section that I did recently. And actually, I did this back in March, so this is old news for me, new news for you. But anyway, what I do is I pull in between these two cornfields here, and I park right here. There is an outcrop of trees, and I looked at some maps, and you'll see how I researched this, but there was a structure right here, a house, and there was a barn here. And how do I know that? Well, let's take a look. So here is an aerial view from 1948, and you can see here where there is a house here and a barn. This is where that outcrop of trees are, right here where the woods. And back in here is more woods. This was all open at one time, as was most of the land in eastern Pennsylvania at one point. This is interesting, though. If you'll see this trail here, this is actually kind of a tree line now. Right in this area here is where I found my Spanish real, 1781. So I don't think that's related to this house and this barn, because I don't think those structures go back that far. So continuing on here, I did find a map from 1891, and you can see where there were two structures. That's the two structures, and it was owned by Mrs. Lydia Thompson, and she had about 95 acres. You can see here where there was somewhat of a road that came through here, and I was actually able to find that. That is a tree line now, and so people traveled that road. So I've been doing some detecting along the sides of that as well. I have found a few other things, a few things there, but let me just show you what I found this time. First thing I found was, and this is a little crazy, but that's a catcher's mask. And a lot of these old farms, they buried things, a lot of their trash. And so there weren't the landfills we have today or trash pickups, so they would actually dig a hole in the back and bury all their stuff. And yeah, I found this. It's a catcher's mask. Why it was there? Somebody must have been a catcher. And it was pretty heavy. It was made out of steel. And this is a picture of the outside of it. I just take that home with me, and I sell it for scrap. It's basically steel iron scrap. So anyway, I found something a little more interesting than that, and that I have a video here that I'll show you. So let me just share my screen with you just for that and get it rolling. Okay, I think I might be onto something here. This rang up at 28. Let's see what we've got. This is something in here, and I can kind of see it right there. See that? Right here. It looks like a coin to me. No, it's not a coin. Interesting. It's a little flapper. That is interesting. We'll have to do some investigation on that one. That, my friends, is a fly terret, and that's from the early 1900s. This is a picture of it after I had it cleaned up. And this is another picture. This is made out of brass, and it is, it doesn't look like brass, but it is. And I can tell because it is not magnetic. And that's why it rang up high on my metal detector. It's basically a non-ferrous material, non-ferrous, meaning there's no iron in it. And so it rings up very high like a silver coin would or a copper penny. So that's a fly terret. What's a fly terret? Well, fly terrets were used on horse tack years ago, and they would put the reins through the hole. This outer part would be called a terret, and what makes it a fly terret is this little flapper flaps in the wind and scares the flies away. And they were sold between probably 1850 and the 1920s, and probably before that in some form. There's one that's made out of brass. They made all types of different shapes and size terrets. Of course, before there were tractors, horses were used in these farm fields, and that's why it was in that farm field. I mean, that's there were probably a team of horses they used to pull wagons and plows and things. They actually used the horses to pull road graders. This is a grader. They probably used it to push snow as well. But there was a lot that went into this. These horses, all the tack and all the harnesses, the terrets, the guides and all, and having the right size horses for the right piece of equipment was really important. A whole lot of expertise that went into being able to use a team of horses. This is actually a photograph of my grandfather on a plow. He had a farm up in Walden, New York, and you can see him here behind two mules, and they are big mules. But they have, I'm sure, terrets on there that guide the reins. And the time it was taken to gear all these horses up for a day's work was quite a challenge. Here is a terret right here on the side of this horse. Of course, this is probably a competition. I think this is from the UK, this picture. And then here's, again, a terret right here that you can see on this harness. And all this harness and gear is used to pull plows or wagons. So that's it. That's what a fly terret is. It's kind of cool to find that. And I thank you for joining me here today, and look forward to sending you some more blogs when I find something else. I've actually got a pretty good collection of finds, and when the weather's not good, I'll try to put these posts together when I'm not out making new discoveries. Thanks for joining me.
Second dig.